It now gives me great pleasure to introduce Michelle Rajan, our senior speaker, who will address the class of 2021. Hailing from Phillipsburg, New Jersey, Michelle graduates with a Bachelor of Science in Neuroscience and a minor in creative writing. Upon her arrival to Muhlenberg, Michelle wasted no time in finding ways to engage within the classroom, across campus, and in the local community. She's completed research, served as a writing tutor, a tour guide, and was the host of a weekly bilingual show, as well as station manager for WMUH. Michelle has also held a number of leadership roles, including appointments as a resident advisor, Student Government Association representative, and vice president of the Top Notch Dance Club. Following graduation, Michelle will begin work with City Year and ultimately plans a career in medicine, serving high-need communities. Please join me in welcoming Michelle Rajan.
Good afternoon, Muhlenberg class of 2021. It is a privilege to welcome you to our commencement ceremony, along with our special guests, faculty, alumni, and families. And though I couldn't be more honored to be your commencement speaker, I've got to admit that I'm a bit confused. We're graduating? And I don't mean that in a, wow, time really flew by kind of way. I mean that in a, wow, time really ceased to exist when the pandemic began kind of way. My first draft of this speech didn't include a single mention of COVID-19. After all the ways the virus impacted every moment of our senior year, I was not going to let it affect our commencement speech too. However, if I'm being honest with you, I feel like I limped to the finish line here today. After a year of so much loss and distance and Zoom, your strength to make it here today deserves recognition. Strength can be a, Thanks. Strength can be a bit exhausting though, especially after virtual Q presentations, virtual senior recitals, unconventional sports seasons. It makes saying goodbye to Muhlenberg a little easier because it means finally closing the chapter on a pandemic senior year. But before we do that, allow me to remind you of how we got here. Years ago, we made a decision that would immensely impact the trajectory of our lives. We chose Muhlenberg. When asked why we chose this small liberal arts college, many of us would allude to this feeling that hit us when we stepped onto campus. Was it the tight-knit nature of the school? Was it the cozy landscaping? Was it the fact that I could get out of bed 10 minutes before class and yet still arrive 5 minutes early? The answer eluded me until I realized that, for me, it was an immediate sense of belonging, an invitation into a community of mentors. Now, as a former tour guide, I'm kind of obligated to tell you about Muhlenberg's low student-to-faculty ratio to explain what I mean. After all, it does hold truth. Small class sizes imply professors who never miss a face in class. Dr. Erica Iyengar is a prime example. During my first recitation with her, she took pictures of us holding up cards with our names on them so that she could study those photos later and learn the name of each student in her biology lecture. She's also taken dozens of students to conduct freshwater fieldwork in the Lehigh Valley, in Maine, and even in Friday Harbor Labs on Washington State's San Juan Island, a rare opportunity for an undergrad, as it is one of the top marine ecology research stations in the world. Muhlenberg College afforded us professors who believe in us more than we believe in ourselves, who will never let us fail. But the spirit of mentorship within a Muhlenberg liberal arts education goes beyond the role of a professor, as shown on the path that unites us all, academic row. Walking down academic row meant crossing paths with the student in every major, with the faculty member in every department. It was on academic row that I first witnessed mules building an interdisciplinary community steeped in mentorship. We walked alongside our mentors, and then we were lucky enough to become mentors ourselves. We empower mules all around us to see that they can accomplish it all, whether it's as choreographers, tutors, athletes, RAs, actresses, radio DJs, and so much more. Our college, always changing, always shifting, embodies all of our interests, all at the same time. Go to the LSC and lift with your team, then edit the weekly in the Seeger's basement. Study for Gen Chem in New Sci, then grab a practice room in the CA, and maybe in between, grab some pizza rustica from the dining hall if you have time to wait in that line. With each passing year, our schedules spanned disciplines and organizations, emulating the typical lifestyle of a Muhlenberg student. When that lifestyle was upended last March, it was like we were first-year students all over again, trying to figure out the COVID-19 version of Muhlenberg. It was no surprise that we were able to count on our continued tradition of mentorship at Muhlenberg to persist. We ventured to have faith in our tight-knit community, interconnected by the ways we aid those around us. Our peers, Allison Cummins and Sarah Gordon, began Berg Originals as a way to host virtual creative workshops for students, alumni, and faculty. The Muhlenberg Theater Association and the Unchained Theater Collective centered underrepresented students in coordinating the Marginalized Voices Theater Arts Festival. The Sadehi Diversity Project redefined their documentary theater piece for an extraordinary virtual performance in the fall, followed by a new edition in the spring. Even when faced with vast challenges, mules believed in each other, never allowing one another to fail. When we chose Muhlenberg, we didn't come here for the cozy landscaping. When we chose Muhlenberg, we came here for the people that make up this community. We came here for Awa and the way that she says hi to each student by name as she swipes us into the dining hall. So much of who we are now after our time at Muhlenberg stems from the people we were fortunate to pass on our routes around campus. When faced with isolation and social distancing, I began to discover the ways we are intertwined in even our most minute details. I carry blue hand wraps for boxing in my purse now because of someone I met in Bio 1, and it reminds me that I'm stronger than I feel. I use the word afford all the time because of a neuro professor I met as a prospective student who then mentored me to this very day. I answer to the nickname Mish or Mishi because of a transfer student I met in our junior year. And I learned how to order a dirty chai because of my best friend. Think about your own minute details, the ones you picked up or passed along during your time here at Muhlenberg. No amount of distance or time can ever take that away from us. Whether you were learning on campus or studying remotely, senior year demonstrated that our sense of community is intertwined unlike any other. Returning to campus to find it vastly different from the one we left behind meant rediscovering that feeling that hit us when we chose Muhlenberg. Adapting to the circumstances meant redefining our student legacy. Graduating in the class of 2021 means arriving to commencement with the sense that we just completed our first year of a new era, rather than the final year of our previous one. There are so many more chapters ahead of us, so many more people to meet. If you are ever in doubt in these next upcoming years, remember that you will always find that feeling you had here at Muhlenberg, because you created it with your minute details and your sense of community. My fellow graduates, we persevered. From this moment forward, we may no longer cross paths on academic row, but the strength of our mentorship, our ability to uplift and empower those around us will forever remain interconnected. Never forget, once a mule, always a mule. Best of luck, class of 2021, and thank you.